Welcome to 108 Gates, where we're looking at the current energies. I've already started the reading, realised it had gone on its side again. I'm not sure what that's about. Either way, stopped it, starting it again. So, doing Divine Feminine reading first. Welcome, I hope you're all well, and we are going to look at the Oracle cards. We are starting off with Temperance. Find the balance and be centered. So then I was explaining that I've got the chart up again today, thankfully remembered. So right now we've got Moon at 1 degree of Libra, and we've got Venus at 1 degree Libra. Both Moon and Venus are 1 degree of Libra. Libra is the scales. Find the balance and be centered. So for the Moon, emotions, that waves of emotions, as well as Venus being in Libra, the love, the resources, the also on some level emotional influences, to both be in Libra, which is the 7th house of home, family, long-term plans, things like that, in alignment with this with Saturn. I'm seeing Saturn at 0 degrees Pisces station at the moment. This is feeling really strong of having new boundaries, having assessment of past boundaries, seeing where your boundaries are just not working for you anymore, and they're causing those underlying emotional conflict, the emotional conflict that you may have had certain defense mechanisms in place to deal with in the past, the holding of control over these things. I think Saturn is at 0 degrees Pisces now, going to be start pulling at where the illusion of being in control is going to be shifted. The emotions that were holding that together, it's like a bungee rope, so it's holding on. It can only hold on for so long, but then if it's released, I surrender. The actual force, because the force behind it, because it's been so tense for so long, it's been wound up. Releasing that now, it might actually have quite a significant force outwards. So to be more aware of what's going on. And then after that came in the 7 of Wands, knowing that there's going to be a level of conflict within, externally. So being really careful of how we're handling ourselves, being really careful of who we even interact with. At this point, there's no point even fighting a fight. That's just not worth it. So actually picking your fights, picking your battles, being really sensitive and aware of that and sensible around that. If it's not something that's immediate that can be held off, it can be dealt with in a more amicable way. Go that route, making sure you're protecting yourself, making sure you're looking out for where you're navigating this and how you're navigating this, making sure that you're going to the relevant sources for backup, for support, for advice. Doing that for multiple reasons. One, so you can't be misled like you may have been in the past. Two, so you can't be manipulated the way you may have been in the past. Three, because you've coming out of this massive energy or hold over you of where you may have been gullible or naive in the past. Not allowing those things, those patterns, those conditioned responses to continue any longer. There does feel like a very, very strong opportunity to break those and let them be gone. So you got Jupiter is retrograde in Taurus at 9 degrees. That also feels like it's pulling back some of those. So Taurus being very earth, quite a strong earth energy, and Jupiter coming back in retrograde space, it feels like it's pulling back your it's like someone, if you like Scrappy Doo and someone's trying to let me out, it feels like it's pulling back the conflict. It's like, don't go into that space, don't go into that space, don't go into that space. Hold yourself back, pull yourself back, bring yourself back, calm, and reassess how you're going to go forward in a more dignified manner, in a more friendly manner, in a more productive way, in which you're going to come out winning, that you can be winning, that you can have a win-win if it's possible, because not everyone that you're going to be dealing with is looking for a win-win. They're either looking to overrule or just bring you down. Where those incidences are, or where those people are that wish to win-win with you and wish to work together in tandem, together side by side for a win-win, proper win-win outcome, that's a different story altogether. You will find that that will be even more quicker, it will be more efficient, it will be more effective. So this Taurus, with Jupiter retrograde in it at 9 degrees, it does feel like it's pulling back on something. So let's move forward now. There you go, the back and forth for things. So you're getting the clarity of what needs to be let go of, what needs to be cut off and just disposed of, and what needs to be brought in, what needs to be made space for, what needs to be welcomed in with open arms. The Two of Swords is feeling that very distinct clarity coming in, again, of what needs to go, what needs to come in, especially with the moon where it is 1 degree of Libra. The emotions that you weren't aware that you're still holding. And what I mean by that is there may have been times in the past where you were controlling certain things, and you had to control certain things because of sense of fear, because of sense of abandonment, or a fear of abandonment, or a fear of, or a sense of, or it's all protection based. But the thing is, now to move on, it's going to be more with a protected space, feeling that faith and trust in that you are protected, that you are aware of more than the 3D protection. So allowing in those who do want to collaborate with you and are willing to be a good partner to collaborate with, an ideal partner to collaborate with. This is a very, very delicate energy to navigate because there's so much going on. There you go. So when you're in that conflict space, look to where you're going. Do you want to be going another round with an argument with someone who you've had the argument a million times with, or do you want to be looking out to new ventures, to new gains, to new possibilities? Go towards new possibilities. The way you're going to understand that is emotionally being honest with yourself. This has to stop. This has to go. True feelings. Getting the insight from your true feelings indicating to you where enough is enough. Because there's only so many times you can be passive and you can be accepting of someone before it starts literally hindering you in so many ways. If you keep ignoring how it's been hindering you, you're gonna get a very, very strong insight that you might not want, but you're gonna get anyway. Emperor, there you go. Like I said earlier here, finding a space within you to start trusting more so in your instinct, more so in your higher frequency, intuition, and really, really developing that, connecting with it, and not in a excuse me, that cough still, not in a blind faith kind of way. It's more to do with feeling it, trusting it because it is true, feeling it and trusting it in the past because you were told to trust it. That's a different thing. So for distinguishing between the two, finding the difference between the two, understanding what that led you into before and where you can now lead yourself out of. When you're doing this, don't be surprised if people don't just come for you. And I don't mean physically, I mean energetically. Do they keep messaging, they keep doing certain things, they keep asking for certain things, they keep telling you to do certain things, they keep responding to you in the same way that they keep responding to you before, even when you've told them, I'm not going to respond to you if you keep coming at me like this. You need to shift, you need to change. I'm not going to be playing into this dynamic anymore. Yet they don't understand that and they keep going with it. It's not for you. There you go. It's not for you. And as I said that, literally the tower came in. You got to let the tower fall. Let the tower fall. This is going to be heart-wrenching for some people. And not only let the tower fall and then walk away. I can't say it any clearer. Possibly could, but I'm not going to push it. Letting the tower fall. And I said it's going to be heart-wrenching for some people, because there's going to be elements of guilt. There's going to be elements of you remembering when you felt abandoned, and as a good person, as a good-hearted person, a good-natured person, you wouldn't want to inflict that sense of abandonment on someone else, or rejection, or ignoring, or whatever it is that's coming up as this particular energy. Therefore, the ones that don't give up, the ones that just keep coming at the same thing in the same negative way and don't listen to what you're needing, don't listen to what you require, not listening to what you're asking for, they're going to pinch and poke those parts of you that they know are compassionate. This is where the insight's going to come in. And this is where you really need to be aware of the swords, what needs to stay and what needs to go, what needs to change and which needs to shift into another gear, as in, like, you can reinforce it because it's a positive, you can reinforce it and strengthen it. So as you have this conflict coming in again, because they can sense that you're looking elsewhere, they can sense that you're going elsewhere, they can sense that your attention is not on them, be ready to walk away. Be emotionally ready to walk away. Now I'm seeing why the feminine was coming up first today. You have to be ready to walk away. If you have to turn your back and not look at the tower falling, you might have to do that. It is going to be heart-wrenching for some of you, because of what I said, because of sometimes that guilt that gets slathered all over it, or the memories that are going to come up, or making you feeling like you're a bad person because of remembering when you were in a certain particular situation where you needed support, you needed help, and they're echoing similar words, similar actions, similar energies, but you've got to distinguish the difference between the two. There's a genuine one and there's a manipulative one. There's a sincere one, and then there's a controlling and negative one. Discern the difference. Let the tower fall. Then walk away. 8 of Cups. That energy of walking away from whatever's going on. Just walk away. Don't look back. Just keep going. Not going to be easy. And here, there may be a few layers of denial. Right, let's go on to the... This feels really solid. This feels quite an appropriate energy. It's feeling like your discernment is not just about you making the discernment. You can allow yourself to be open-minded and open-hearted to receiving divine higher frequency support, having a higher perspective, because not only have you got the Emperor for the physical aspects of it, you've got the High Priestess of the emotional and the insight, the intellect, the intelligence, the intuition, the instinct, I think I mentioned it in the one I started earlier, but I forgot to mention it now. So the instinct and the intuition is going to be really important, and not going into the instinct and intuition that's already been tampered with, that's already been filled with doubt, that's already been tainted. You need to cleanse and purify your intuition and your instinct, if that makes sense. So really, really emotionally getting in touch with your instinct and intuition. So where your instinct and intuition has been played with, has been messed with, manipulated, here where naivety and being gullible or unaware or inexperienced has led your intuition and instinct in the wrong direction for yourself. Letting go of that. As that unravels, it may bring up certain things that you're not comfortable with. It may bring up certain things that you were not expecting. It is what it is. Let the tower fall, walk away. As you unravel this, somebody's control over you, somebody's grip on you is going to become less and less, less and less. And as they feel this, don't be surprised if they start to come in. 5 of coins. This feels like threats of being ostracized, threats of being left out of something, threats of being penalized for just doing what you need to do for yourself. So the 5 of coins invite being left outside, not having certain security, not having certain well-being because of that shaking of your foundation from some other influence, creating the Tower moment, creating the 8 of Cups, creating the 7 of Wands, conflict. So here it feels as though your discernment is going to be coming in of like, well, do I actually want to be there? Or have I been made to feel like if you don't come here, you're the one missing out? If you don't be with us, you're going to be all on your own. When in truth, you may actually be better off without. You may be better off outside of it anyway. This High Priestess and Emperor influence, it feels like it's containing it in some way, and it's just going to be illuminating the truth of it. Insight. The answers are there for those who look. Don't be scared to look. Don't be scared to see what is truthfully happening. So, that is quite a reading. There was a lot of energy pushing and pulling and tugging and this way and that way for that. And just to let you know that the Sun currently is at 16 Scorpio and Mars is at 19 Scorpio. So the force of Mars really is pushing some of this forward quickly. If you try and hold on and try and control things, it's going to be more difficult. The best, well, I'm not saying the best for sure, but it may be advisable to kind of just let things be in flow and let it roll how it needs to roll for a while. See how it plays out. Feel safe. Do what you need to do to be safe. Make sure you're protecting yourself. Make sure you're aware of divine protection around you. Have the peeps you trust around you. Don't allow the peeps who led you to believe you could trust them but can't trust them. Don't fall back into their clutches or their traps. Good luck. If this is resonating, enjoy the ride. Don't worry. It's easy to be said, I know that. Go into your deep, deep strength and courage to at least look at the truth of the situation. That's bare minimum. So for now, lots of peace and love.